Hello everybody, it's Derek Freeze, and today we're going to have a look at the 1985, 1985 WCI air conditioner I have here in my bedroom. I put this in earlier this year because my shop bearing special, I was going to put it back in here, but the switch on it broke, so until I get a replacement switch for it, I'm just going to keep this in here. Honestly think the fashionette cleaned up, I'll probably put that back in. But yeah, WCI can controls. I've had this in for a couple weeks now, so I've really gotten kind of used to this one. I'll go over some things I like and dislike about it. We'll fire it up on low fan. If memory serves, this has a universal fan motor. There's high fan. It's actually pretty powerful. It actually makes some noise on high fan, which is kind of unusual for these units. These units are normally not very loud. When it gets on low speed, it is somewhat quiet. I will say this is still certainly quieter than any sort of modern unit, at least most modern units. I'm not sure about the inverter style units or the higher or Harrier or whatever Serenity series units, like the wood grain here on the front grille. I'm not really sure what wood this is trying to imitate. I know there was some of these that was like a burled walnut, and those ones look just beautiful. I'd like to find one of those. I think those walnut ones, this plastic here was black instead of brown. I'm not sure if those units actually exist or thought they did, but I can't seem to find a picture of one when I was looking for one the other day. So maybe it's just a dream I had or something. White Westinghouse. Install it between fan speeds and we'll turn on very quiet Sanya rotary. Once the fan is on, you can't hear the compressor at all. When this thing's been running and it cycles on and off, the compressor's almost inaudible. You'll hear the click from the thermostat, a slight kind of grumble noise of the compressor turning on, and then you just start to hear the refrigerant noises after a little bit. I really like these. I'd say the biggest downside of this unit is the serviceability. These aren't really the easiest things to take apart and put back together compared to other units of the time, like an Emerson. That'd be way better at Fetters and all of those. But Fetters isn't nearly as quiet as this, and the Emersons from this era seem to be somewhat uncommon for some reason. And actually, I'm not sure if by the time when this was made, Emerson switched OEMs over to Fetters. Side panels are screwed up, so they're just cardioid panels. I got this unit from a dumpster company. They picked this unit up during like a appliance cleanup week type cleanup day thing, where people brought their old appliances over to get scrapped and the refrigerant recovered. This was sitting on a pile of units awaiting refrigerant recovery. There was a couple more old units, including a Carry Cool, that were there. There was a Sharp Comfort Touch I wanted, but that one was pretty banged up. But this is the one out of all the units I really wanted because I was looking for a WCI of this size. Since I've gotten this one, not too many of these have showed up. There's some older, like, late 70s ones on Marketplace right now I kind of want to get, but they're a bit far. One of them is a 5K like this, and the other one's a 10K. switch it to high fan. Now, the issue I've had with this unit is the thermostat. Thermostat does not have a adjustment screw on it. At least I don't believe it does. I'll probably take it apart again if it ever becomes an issue, but as of right now in this room I don't really like it any colder than 74, and since our central unit is working properly, I'm not too worried about this unit cooling the whole house where I need this to run constantly. But it's one of those thermostats where the air blows over it. There's no probe. If I do want this to blow colder, my only option is to upgrade the thermostat to one of those styles of thermostat. This also does match the microwave oven and mini fridge. I'm going to let this build a bit of head pressure and I'll return. It's a bit windy outside, so I apologize if there's a bit of like wind noise on the microphone. We had rain for 2 days straight, and it finally let up, so it's kind of one of the reasons why I'm filming now. Good bit of heat coming off of here. Had a little issue where the screw here just fell out one time while it was running, so I think the threads, which are in like this kind of metal piece here to hold the coil on, has finally rusted out. Which, besides that, the rust on this unit is pretty low. I have a drain hole here. I'm thinking this drain hole doesn't work the way I want it to, because once, like, if it's a very humid day and this thing's running, it will start to slosh water. The good part is once I turn the unit off, all of it just drains out, but I don't really like how it still sloshes water. So I'm thinking, I think it's over here where the water comes out of the unit. I'll just kind of run it over to this area and drill a hole. Now, someone has obviously drilled a hole here before, but I'm going to most likely do it somewhere back here by the compressor, maybe over here, and make a little dam with hot glue to kind of keep it from going any other spot. And if it does, this drain hole here can work when the unit eventually gets turned off. But we have a Sanyo compressor, which you can tell by the blue stickers. These are the best rotary compressors ever made. Go figure, the 2 units I have with these compressors are both WCI products. I'd like to get some more units with these. This coil has even air distribution on the whole backside, since it did take the whole unit apart. I'm not sure if, yep, that's universal. Condensate line on this side here is getting somewhat sweaty. These older WCIs, you can tell these apart from the newer ones because they normally have a brown or black base pan. This one would have had a brown base pan. Some of them had black ones. There is another one of these in my neighborhood that's identical to this with a black base pan. I don't know what the branding on that one is. I'm not sure if this style of units ever had it, but I do know the bigger ones, all the way up until the 2000s when they stopped making them, they had a grate on the back to keep the coils from getting pushed in. And on the smaller ones, for some reason, they never put that grate on there. So I think what I'll probably do eventually is I'm going to put a grate back here to keep these coils from getting meshed in, kind of like, I wouldn't say like a chicken wire, but like if I can find something much like of the original grills on these would have been, I'll put those on here. But this does feel somewhat warm. There's not much heat energy in the room to really extract, though. Are those other holes? I don't. Oh wait, this is where. So the wall inside here, the metal wall, it's welded in. It's not bolted in or anything, so it's welded. So these are the little weld marks. That's another reason why I'm not too fond of this unit, is I can't take that out to remove the refrigeration system for a full clean and service at a base pan. I wonder if this ever had a hose hooked up to it. I can definitely tell it's low hours because the AHAM certification sticker isn't totally faded. These WCIs always had the certification sticker on the outside here all the way up into the early 2000s when they stopped. Some of the early Electrolux Frigidairs had it too. But those units were so junk, I don't think many of them are still around anymore. You see, this is the side panel frame. I'll go back inside. But this thing is really quiet. I believe it's a metal fan blade on the outside. I can't remember if it is or not. This is actually the oldest WCI I have. I would like to get one of these with the recip compressor too. If I can even find one of those. I guarantee they're still out there though. This unit's also the perfect size for this room. It does really good at doing humidity control. The Fashionette, I think, was probably the best performing unit for in here. I also am kind of biased because I think that unit had the best sounding fan. It was a noisy fan, but it still sounded really nice. But it's almost ice cold. My temperature sensor's broken, so I can't do proper temp readings. Oops. R22. Kind of hard to hear it because the mini fridge is running and it has a really loud compressor in it. But, yeah. Beautiful Japanese Sanyo in this thing. So thank you very much for watching, and keep the breeze.